And you know, our Irish connectivity here was reinforced when I was back in 2000 in March in Belfast. My mother was battling breast cancer, and Michael and Bridget were there traveling around Ireland, having a great trip. And they came to Belfast. I managed to get them put up in a friend's house of mine, and they they experienced a wonderful early spring in Belfast, March. It's really cold, but my friend's cheap, right? So there was no heating in the house. So Mike and Bridget learned to cuddle a lot closer back then, right? Real close to stay warm, actually, right? And this was before Queen's University, the whole visit started, right? And Michael and Bridget, actually, just thinking about it, are the only people who really know my family, who have ever met all my family in Ireland. Out of all the people I know in this country, they're the only ones who really know that whole family. But that was back in the day. And then the Queen's visit started, and I went along with Michael on one trip to Queen's University. It was taking me back to my home city. Queen's is literally, as we say in Ireland, a good phrase, it's a stone's throw. Because we're really good at throwing stones, right? So just a stone's throw from my house. And I had the good opportunity to borrow a car off a friend of mine and take Michael and even Matt out on some nice trips around the countryside. And so off we go around the roads of Ireland. And if anyone's been to Ireland, the roads are real small. And you drive on the right side, the left side, right? And I took Michael out to the mountains of Mourne, if anyone knows them, beautiful mountains in Northern Ireland. And Matt was in the back seat, probably a better place to be. And Mike was in the front. And if you know Mike well, right, it's really hard to get a moment's silence with him. But for that drive in the mountains of Mourne and the Circuit of Ireland rally, he was quiet. And his knuckles were white, and I didn't hear a word. And when all four wheels leave the road and land again, you just saw the look, right? But it was all good after that because we had a pint of Guinness and some fish and chips and everything. It was real good. And Mike was fascinated with the Belfast culture, with the Troubles, right, which was my life growing up. And I was happy to share the streets of Belfast with him. And on that note, I'm going back to Belfast this Thanksgiving, and I promised Mike that I'll drink a few pints in a few pubs with a few of Michael's friends and give thanks to a true friend who gives so much of himself to enrich the lives of others. And here is a letter from the faculty and our studies department at Queen's University, and it's remembering Michael. In Belfast, it rains a lot in the summer, but for more than a decade, Michael Merrifield brought a bit of California sunshine to the city. He arrived at the International Summer School at Queen's University with a clatter of enthusiastic Saddleback College students following behind. His big warm smile was the sign that our summer school had begun. It might have been his enthusiasm for learning, or it might simply be the friendship he engendered in people. But his trips became a bridge between Belfast and Mission Viejo. Michael made things possible for lots of us. Like all good stories, how it started has become the stuff of myth. Dominic Brand, the Institute of Irish Studies director, claims that in 2001, Michael walked into the Institute of Irish Studies in Belfast looking for a bathroom. After a conversation with Catherine Boone, the Institute's administrator, and Dominic about anthropology, he announced that he was going to bring students to the summer school. We were skeptical. After all, he had a ponytail. And was wearing woven bracelets. But sure enough, the following year, he rocked up with 30 students and seemingly inexhaustible joie de vivre. This was only the second year of our summer school. In large part, and thanks to Michael, it went from strength to strength. Michael and his Saddleback gang became part of our summer in Belfast, part of our Institute family on their annual trip home. It was so obvious that students were inspired and enthused by his teaching. Thanks to Michael, Karen Kettner is now part of the Institute all year round. Inspired and enthused, words so appropriate when thinking about Michael. We have shared so much since. Field trips through Northern Ireland, pints in numerous pubs, quite a few ice creams, the odd crisis, many political debates, a few bottles of tequila, and lots of bottles of whiskey. At one particular riotous party in 2008, Michael decided to make cocktails with tequila, lime, and barbecue sauce. Dominique and Michael were still dancing to ska music in the garden at dawn. This is probably not a unique Michael story. Michael had a great gift, the ability not only to engender laughter in others and to see the ridiculous in the world, but also to laugh at himself. Every year at the summer school quiz, we laughed that he got the same questions wrong. But Michael's friends in Belfast have also been talking about how serious and deep Michael was. Sitting over a coffee, exploring whatever issue had arisen, charming and gregarious, Michael was also kind, supportive, and thoughtful. He could be relied on. And so the news that Michael has left us has created a void among his friends in Belfast. We have been looking at Facebook and reading the heartfelt comments left by so many of the Californians we have had the pleasure, because of Michael, to teach over the years. In life, Michael brought us a little bit of California to Belfast. In death, he unites us all in grief. To Bridget and all of Michael's family, we send our deepest condolences and our love. We'll be thinking of you. Belfast and Mission Viejo have been joined through the efforts of one man. When we think of Michael, we all agree that we will remember him smiling. Dominic Brandt, Valerie Miller, Joan Watson, Karen Kettner, Gordon Gillespie, Catherine Boone, Eamon Hughes, Gillian McIntosh, Peter Gray, Olin Perdue, Megan Hoyt, Noel Mitchell,